Alrighty guys, so the car is gone. So welcome back to Easy Motor Outlaw Customs anyway. So the car is gone. It is at the Media Blasters. It's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe a week before I get it back. It's got a bit on. So yeah, hopefully late this week or early next week I'll have it back. Dropped it off yesterday. I didn't do much, had a pretty sore back. My back's coming right again. Today is actually a public holiday, so I took that off as well. I kind of played coming down here and having a clean up. I might come down here later and have all reorganised, but basically the plan is tomorrow is have all organised in here, get myself sorted out, and then I want to get the hood and the trunk lid or the bonnet and the boot lid back on little Marina, and then might sort out the window rubbers because I want the panel stands for obviously doors, boot lids, bonnet, whatever, guards for this other thing, so I can start cleaning that stuff up while I'm waiting on the other car to come back in a few days time. So yeah, we'll get this stuff organised. Hopefully we'll give this a clean out, pull the carpets out of it and whatever, and stuff like that. Yeah, and we'll start cleaning all this stuff up, and then I need to get a hold of the upholsterers and just see what the go is with this and see what the sort of time frame is, because I may, once I get this sorted with the glass back in it and get it sort of back to complete apart from the interior, I might even take it home and park it out of the road, or even maybe, I don't know, maybe even at mum and dad's and just park it out of the road in the meantime. And probably at my place would be better, but not really. Just kind of starts out of the road here, because I'm going to have a look at not the 65 Impala that I worked on a while ago, but another one, and it's about at the same level. It's had all the metal work done actually by the place where I took the other car to. They've done all the metal work on it there a while ago. I'm not sure when, and yeah, they don't have time to carry on with it, if you know what I mean. Not in any time shortly. These guys want it done. So it looks like I'm going to get to do the finishing work, like the body work and paint. So I'm not 100% sure exactly where he wants to go and what he wants to do, but I know that the hard stuff's been done, if you know what I mean. Turn the lights on. So yeah. So I'll possibly have that here in the next wee while as well. So if I can get that out of the road, and I think what I need to do is put the wheel back on that Studi. Sorry, wheel back on the Studi. That fucking lens isn't very clean, is it? Get that wheel and tyre and everything back on that so I can get that fucking thing out of the road. Because it's getting, even though I'm covering it when I'm painting and priming, it's just getting too much overspray on it. I'm going to have to work hard to get that clean up, and it's just becoming a pain in the ass. So at least if I can get it mobile, it can be moved in and out. So what I'll probably end up doing is shift the stuff I'm working on up there and have that part here. So if it's a nice day, I can just back it out again, kind of out of the road. So that'll give me spaces for three or four cars to work on again. So you'll probably have a 65 Impala in here, and this will probably be, yeah, like I said, disappear until we just get to bolt the seats in it, and whatever. I might even talk down as if I can get it back to the point where it can actually just go away. It's not actually hard to bolt fucking seats in at some point once they come back. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out, but it might be just as easy to do the castle other couple things and just get the glass back in it, give it a bloody good clean out and a wipe out, and then when the upholstery comes, all you can do is set the carpets and the seats and stuff back in it. So yeah, but that'll be tomorrow's job to sort that out. But yeah, I was just going to do a little job. We're going to change the rocker cover, tappet cover gasket on a little mid-90s Nissan on a Mrs. Friend's car. It's weeping, and it's frickin' dripping all down onto the exhaust manifold. So I'm going to go do that for them, because she wants to drive it about 8 hours north in a couple of weeks' time, so she wants to get it sorted before she does that trip away. So yeah, I'll go do that little job, and yeah, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Right, morning guys, girls, and anybody else that's watching. See you now. Anyway, I'm not having a pee, I'm draining the fuel tank. So I haven't looked in this for days. I had a wee sneak peek this before, but I probably haven't looked in this for probably, well, what's today? Today's Wednesday, because yesterday was a public holiday, and I only really got the body to the sandblasters on Monday because my back was so freaking sore. Had a wee bit of help with that. Got it on the trailer and then dropped it off, and I just took the rest of the day off again. My back's come right now, which is good. Just, you know, a few massages and shit like that and whatever, and I managed to get my back to come right. So yeah, apart from, because yeah, I wasn't even here on, I come here and gave it a shake on Saturday night, or Sunday night I think. And I wasn't in here on Saturday because I went and did that car show video. So yeah, it's been several days since I looked inside this. So I think I gave it a shake one day, and that was about it. When I was here, I've been here a couple of 3 times just for do different little things, and I think I've given it a shake most times, not every time, if you know what I mean. I went and came and got some tools yesterday because I changed a rocker cover gasket on a little 90s Nissan that was leaking and was dripping down onto the exhaust manifold and making a mess. So for just a friend, a young girl that's a friend of the missus, and the car was freaking, it's had quite a bit of oil around the engine base, so we gave it a good clean up, or her boyfriend gave it a good clean up with some degreaser and all that sort of bullshit, and they said, I said, do that, go get a new gasket seal for it and I'll change it for you. They didn't really know what to do, so it's only a small job, so I just did that for them. But yeah, it's been so when I was in here, I think I gave that a nice shake, but I haven't had a decent look in here, so we'll have a nosy, and see what it's come up like. I see an improvement. I had a quick nose, but I've just drained the water out, the liquid out, I guess you call it. Trying to find the bloody torch, couldn't remember where I set it, down there. So it's really lazy in here. It's still a bit black, but it's not as rusty as it was. You know what I mean? The thing is, it's definitely cleaning up. I need to get the rest of the liquid out. We'll see if we can get the rest of the liquid out and we'll have a better look. But it's kind of, you say, it's almost like it's, you know how what rust goes when you put like rust converter on? It's almost kind of going like that, the real heavy stuff. Like you can see where, can I get in the right place? See where the liquid's been sitting across the bottom, and then it's rusty up here. So it's really clean where it's like not real scabby, but the rest of it's kind of gone that blacky look. So definitely cleaning it up. So what I might have to do is just agitate it a bit more and see if we can get, I might have to put like a heap of this sort of stuff and get it really frickin' tumbling around in there to try and get that really clean. But even if we can get the bad shit out of it, and then obviously tip it around for a few more days, like it's gonna be fucking wild. Like it's the car. I took to the media blasters Monday, so it's now Wednesday. So he said I probably will get that back, hopefully early next week, or maybe if he gets it done at the weekend or something like that, we might be able to pick it up. Let's have another wee nosy in here. Now I've just given it another shake round. There's nothing else in there. Still a bit of liquid in there. What we might do, we might go outside, we'll give it fill it up full of water, give it a good flush out, and then see if we can get maybe not get the nuts out of it, but we'll just give it a good rinse out and flush it out and just flush all the shit out of it. So we can sort of get a clear look in there, see what's going on, and then we can reintroduce that again if needed. Because you're getting black, like that was quite clear. I wouldn't say clear, but clearer the first time. So it's definitely working, like it's doing something. But yeah, I think I'll go get a good rinse out. Yeah, we'll just keep going from there, you know. Have a good look in it, another good look. Poke right down in here just so we nosy. I haven't had a look down through here yet. It's definitely cleaning up. It is definitely cleaning up. It's just a matter of I don't keep going, you know what I mean? We'll just give it another wash out. We'll give it a few more good shakes around with those nuts and bolts, and just let it sit there and we'll just keep turning it. Like it'll probably come clean eventually, if you know what I mean. But yeah, like if you're not in a hurry, I don't think it would be too much of an issue. But I don't think there needs to be a better way to do it, like a faster way. But if you're not in a hurry and you're working on a car and you think, oh fuck, that fuel tank's scabby, go buy a bottle of that, pour it on it, and fucking turn it around every couple of days and throw a few nuts and bolts in it and give it a rattle around every couple of days, and then, you know, I don't know, in 2 or 3 weeks time, fucking it, you know, or even just every week or so, give it a rinse out with some water, have a good look round, see how it's getting, like flush all the shit out, and then fill it back up and let it go again, you know what I mean? Get a couple of paint filters and just filter that stuff back through as it's going, and so like any rust and crap that's in there is getting filtered out, so like it's just basically the liquid going back in there, and you know, a few fine particles, you know, it's keeping any big stuff out, so it's not being reintroduced, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll go give it a quick swish out. Yeah, maybe not, it's going to rain, but anyway, we'll go give it a swish out and we'll carry on. Righty, I've just been screwing around with this frickin', hopefully this is working out. Been screwing around with this lock. I've had it on, I had the frickin' boot on, and then I couldn't get this to spring back. So what I discovered is just on the edge of this ring here, I don't know if you can see there or not, I'll get it close enough, but it doesn't matter. There's like a little pinhole in the edge of this ring. There's like one part of this piece, well, it was actually in there, it wasn't actually even in there. And then this piece is like a little wire spring in there, you can see. So that piece goes in there, and then the other piece hooks in around there. So now that actually, the spring part of it works. I'll put you up on here, I'll show you. Oh, don't drop it on the ground. So I did. Try and show you if I can. So now, this will spring back. It wouldn't spring back before. So yeah, I don't know. Can I zoom in there or not? Just trying to zoom in on this. There you go. You can see that end of that pin there. There's like a little divot and there's a hole in there. Well, it's a bit hard to see, but if I flip the light on maybe? Yeah, there you go. See it there. So yeah, that's where if you could pull one of these little Marinas apart, that's where that spring clip is meant to go in there. And then, yeah, and then the rest of it's meant to be on here. And now I can put this freaking thing back in the hole and put this boot lock back together, and then put the boot back on, or trunk back on. And just give these a quick out if I can. I don't think there's meant to be a gasket in here. I don't think there was one on there, but maybe I should make one. I might just make a little ring gasket to put on behind that, add a bit of rubber. Just see if that stops that from doing that. I'll do that. Righty, so I just finally got the boot lid on. I need to tweak it a little bit with just position. It needs to go slightly in here or slightly that way. These are a wee tweak round. It needs to go in a little bit and probably across and back out a little bit. Yeah, something like that. It needs to go in and that way and out a little bit here. Just needs a wee tweak. But I just gave a quick buff around here. Here's me rag. Give it a wee more wipe up the top. Just gave it a wee buff across here just to clean it up. It's a fucking good match. Like, it's not going to stick out like a sore thumb once we get everything all cleaned up and whatever. Like, I've got to do some clean up and tidy up. I actually just noticed that I freaking haven't got quite enough paint here where we blended that out. But I'll give it a polish and we'll see what it comes up like. It might clean up. If it looks alright, I'll leave it. Otherwise, we might just have to tape this off and just blow a little bit of paint in there. Like, I was half prepared for a few little things like this. And get that cleaned up. I've got to get some paint down on that tow bar so it's not yellow. You know, things like that, you know, but that's not a bad match. I'm really surprised with the colour match. And even by the time I give everything else a polish out, and finally, whatever, I finally got this lock to work fucking properly. It works good now. So it just needs a wee tweak around. And then we can tidy up this boot and we'll lift all that shit out there and just pack it up a bit better. But yeah. Don't have to even have to slam it, you know what I mean? Just push it closed. Well, no, just needs a wee click. So that's cool. And no wonder so it was all fucking bent and buckled. Like, you don't even have to push it down now, you know what I mean? Just touch it and it closes. That's just just getting a little jig around, get this a bit more of a clean up, and whatever we might touch up with a little bit of a brush, you know, just some of these little patchy bits. But, you know, like, you can't fix everything, you know what I mean? Like, you just got to try and blend it in and make it look like it doesn't fucking stick out like a sore thumb, that it's been repainted. And I think by the time this has all been polished up, I don't think we've got a buff. It'll blend in alright. We'll give this a wee buff over too, you know. Just take a little bit of the crap off the top and whatever. It's got a little bit of crap in it, but it's fucking not that bad, if you know what I mean. By the time it's had a bit of the polish, might even run out with a bit of 1500 and 2000 and 3000 just to knock the shit off the top. Give it a wee buff, it'll blend in. Yeah, it's going to be way fucking better than it was. It's better than all the fucking flake of paint and dints and shit all over it. And we'll do the same at the front. I haven't got that done yet. I've just been fucking around trying to get that boot lock to work. And a couple other things. Anyway, what I'm doing in the meantime, I'm going to go have a look at this other car now. Yeah, I'll catch you later on. Alrighty, so at the moment, I'm just blending in the paintwork here on the little Marina. I decided that I'll spend a couple of days on this, just get this all cleaned up, you know, where I've blended it and whatever. There's a little bit of a blend mark in here. It's probably not going to be, I probably should have just painted the top of that. But you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes you can't fix everything, and like it's like everything. You know, I could have just scuffed the whole fucking car and then just blown a coat of paint over it. But you know, you don't want to run out of paint. But it doesn't look too bad. Like, and there's still a couple of little, it must be like pinholes or something where there's a couple of little chips where I sort of just scuffed it, and it's kind of hiding but not. So it kind of looks like it. You know, it's got a couple of old chips in it, like the bonnet. You know, it's been re-sprayed on the top, but even through over here, it's got a very faint mark. I pulled the grommet out here to try and blend this out. I think if it just wasn't dirty there, I might just wet sand that, clean that up and wet sand that a little bit with some 1500 and 2000, and we'll just give it another wee blend. But up here, you can't even tell. I could joint that. So some of the colours are better than others, if you know what I mean. Or some of the areas are easier to hide. I've still got it like wet. I just gave this a quick buff, but I'll just wet sand that just to blend that out through here, so it kind of matches. Since this is all fresh paint, this is kind of a bit like the guard. Like, it's kind of, you can kind of see it, but you can't. I haven't obviously sanded the bottom of that door or anything else like that, and I haven't done in here yet. But I've cleaned up all around the back window and around here. So this is like this is all new paint, this is all the old paint. Like, it fucking matches pretty good. I just want to get the bootlet sitting a little bit better. I've got the bonnet sitting pretty good. It's on its marks, and I've jiggled it a little bit to try and just get it to sit better. And it also, like, it was buckled, so I'm just No, you got to fight with that a little bit. But hey, look, we're just trying to clean it up. I'm just not 100% sure what's going on here. I'd like to get this back a little bit further if I can. Maybe just a smidge, but I'm just not sure if there's enough slot in those holes. And like the guards, you can't move the guards, they're welded on, so it just kind of is what it is, you know. It's just a matter of getting it as close as you can, I guess. You know, we're trying to, you know, we've tidied it up, and it's a fucking damn sight better than it was. You know, once we've got everything cleaned up and grilled back in, and we'll flick a little bit of paint around the headlights and stuff like that as we're going around and getting it all sorted. But you know, there might be the odd little blend mark, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? But it'll be fucking damn sight better. I just need to sand this a bit more through there. Like, I don't need to do the bottom half, just this top half. So I probably should have just fucking painted that and just masked it out, because the colours aren't horrendously different, if you know what I mean. There's a little bit of colour difference in it depending on where you are, and I might have to just, I just brush painted this on without any hardener in it way back, just to clean up some of these edges where the rubber sat, and it was a wee bit worn through in places after I cleaned the shit off. But I might just mix a little bit of it up with some hardener and then just rebrush paint some of these bits. We'll see. You know, I haven't buffed and cleaned across here yet. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, it's just fucking pile up, just dirt and shit. So yeah, but yeah, by the time we get everything cleaned up, like, I've got to wet sand these doors, and again, that's fairly well blended, so it should hide pretty good. And just give everything else a bit of a clean up and a buff. Just using that little buffer because it's nice and easy to control. Like, we didn't really fix the dents down here, you know. Obviously, because it's just, I would have had to pull everything off, and we just blended it, you know, into this corner and around the corner a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be damn sight tighter than it was, you know, and the paint's not all fucking falling off the boot lid or trunk, and haven't got the dirty great holes in it anymore, and, you know, it's not going to, it was only just starting to break out above the headlights, so, you know, like, that's not going to, in another 2 or 3 years, it's not going to be all broken out and screwed up and whatever. You know, the bonnet's nice and solid now. It doesn't frickin' flip and flop around when you lift it up, because it was bending and all sorts of shit, whereas it doesn't do it now. Like, it's not 100% pretty underneath, like it's tidy-ish. Like, I did flick a little bit of paint in there just to clean it up, but when we did it, but yeah, like, I wish I'd done a little. I wish I actually put the tape down when I completely forgot before I fucking glued it, because it just would have been slightly less messy. But we've got to obviously do the bottom of that door to blend that in a bit. Probably a little bit on the bottom of that sill, I can't remember. Yeah, there's a line there too, so I need to just wet sand that and just blend the area out. And we'll wet sand it right back through to here somewhere, so just a hint of it. I might try and see if we can tidy up some of these pieces where it's got a few marks in it from just life. When I do that, little bits around the window, I might just brush paint a little bit on there, and then just, you know, before it goes back fully, we'll just fill some of these worst of these chips. Might even do a couple around here, just so it blends in a little bit better. Once we get it, I'll get a bit of a clean back, and that'll tidy up a few things. Now I've got to do I've got a little paint in here, don't I? Yeah, I've got to put a little bit of paint in there too, which I forgot about when I had everything all taped up, and I couldn't realise I couldn't open the fucking doors, so I got to put a little bit of paint in there too. That's no biggie. But yeah, like, that's easy hidden, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we're getting there. working at that. But we have to keep working at it. You can just still see that. Like the other stuff's, like you can see it, but it's not so obvious. But have to keep working at that just to get it to feather out a bit better. Alrighty, so I'm in the middle of freaking trying to blend these things in, and I freaking cut back through here. So what I might have to do is, because I took the mirror off just so I could buff up to there. So what I might do is, because I've got to touch up a couple of the spots that I've noticed. Like I've got to do that little piece inside the door here, which I completely forgot about when I had everything taped up. I forgot to spray in there, and I've got this little patch around here, whatever it is, I think. You hear that I want to blend in better. So probably what I'll do is just tape it out through here and just take the light out and tape around here. And I'll just flick a little bit in there, because I'll just mix up a little bit. And when I'll do that, also I'll probably, I'll come back and I'll just use a brush and just brush in some of these spots. And is there anything else I need to try and fix? What was this one like? That one's okay. I think it's just those couple little spots. It seems to be working all right. Little scratches that that are in the paint, like some down here that wasn't me. So what I'll do is, we'll tape out along here. I'll tape all this off, and I'll just cut it through here. Work out where that covers, obviously. So it covers the bulk of it, and then by the time I put the mirror and so on, if I stop at dead middle, or even just back here and just flick a little piece in here, like I'm not going to mix up much, and I can turn the pressure way down on the gun and just flick a little bit in. We'll just run the tape underneath here and back up around here and just cover everything basically, and then obviously we can just open the door and just freaking, I'll probably even just tape down this edge and just dust that in, and so we can, whatever, I might even just maybe even Scotch Brite those couple of wee marks, just give everything a bit of a clean, just even just give that a wee Scotch Brite and just dust a wee bit on that, and dust in that back bit there, and yeah, just touch the other stuff up with a brush. I think everything else is okay. That needs a fucking good clean because it's just dirty from exhaust, I think. So yeah, a couple little spots there. I just pissed me off. It just because that was just using the buff just to try to blend this in a little bit better. But if I bring it to here, it won't be noticeable. I should have thought about it. I didn't realize the mirror was so easy to get off. So yeah, we'll just blend it back into here, and at least then it's like it's in a spot where you can't tell because it blends pretty good. Like the colour there matches pretty good. Like it's the transition between the two angles hides it, if you know what I mean. So if I just blend that, just give it a wee Scotch Brite through there, and we'll just dust a freaking bit into it, and I'll just make sure I puff, I don't know, a couple light lots on there. It won't matter too much, and the same in there. I'll probably do that after lunch though. We'll see. We'll see what the time is. Because by the time I give everything a clean up and then mask it up, it'll probably be after lunch anyway. But it just needs to be done with a couple of little spots. And once you want it for frickin' shit, just dust a little bit on. Just clean this up a bit. Just dust a wee bit on this piece. I'll give everything else a bit of a more of a clean up. So you can see where the rubber comes up to. I need to check that too, see how far that rubber comes up. But it just needs it touched up on that other side. Right, I didn't video it, but I've just blended in a couple of little bits and pieces. So there was a funny patch in here from when I was spraying. I tidied it up. I just gave everything a good wipe down with wax and grease, and then just gave it a wee Scotch Brite in the spots. So it's blew a little bit of paint in here, and I just taped the top of that tail light. I just sort of flicked it down through here just to clean up that up a little bit. What else did I do? Oh, down in here, blended in the paint that had missed there, and it was a wee bit light down here, so I flicked a little bit down in there, and I just touched up a couple of little funny bits. So I just flicked it in there, so we'll let that all dry, and then when I give it a buff and everything, it'll blend out. and on here I must have made a bit of a mark when I was sanding, doing all stuff, so I just puffed a little bit into there. There was a couple little chips and stuff that were on the door, so I just puffed a little bit over that, and when we give it a buff, you know, it'll just take off whatever residue it doesn't need. Same with that little scratch that was in here, just puffed a little bit on there. So I masked out to this screw hole, so I just blended that in, so when I put the mirror back on, that'll cover all that, so it'll hide the blend. So we'll give that a little wee buff just across that edge, just so it kind of disappears and just take along here. So we'll just buff that edge a little bit. There's a little bit of shit in there, and then I just held the cardboard in around here, and I just puffed in a couple little spots where there was just a couple little bare edges. I did the same over here, so just puffed a little bit over that. You can see where it sort of hadn't blended terribly well, where it was a little bit dirty over there, so I just puffed a little bit over that just to blend it a little better. I didn't go crazy, just puffed it over a couple of times. And then I just did the bolts in here because they were a wee bit scabby, so I just puffed a little bit over there just to blend them up a little bit. And I did a little bit down here. I was going to just come along here with the paintbrush and do it, but I just held the cardboard in here and put a bit of tape down here, and I just missed it a little bit on there and just sort of built it on this edge. We'll give it a polish, and yeah, I know the rubber sort of comes out to about here somewhere, so I just cleaned that up a little bit, and that was about it, I think. Yeah, I don't think I had to do anything else down this side. Nah, it was just that little piece in that back corner, and just a couple little, just touched up a few little areas, just to tidied it up a little bit better than it was. Just help fix the blends just a little. You know, worst comes to worst, I can always mix up a little bit more. I only mixed up number 2. So yeah, I only did that much, just below my thumb in the gun, in this pottle. So what's that? Fuck all, like barely a couple 100 mils, or 100 mils, barely 100 mils. And I just puffed it in these few places. Like I put, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 little layers across that, and yeah, just flicked a couple little bits of edge up here and across there, just as I held some cardboard in there. Same with that, I just, you know, puffed it in, so when we give everything another polish, like it'll just pick up the any little bits of overspray and shit. So I think what I'll do now is I'll just leave it alone. I'm not going to do anything more in here, just so there's no dust and shit flies around for a bit. So yeah, it just tidied that up in there. And I fixed those couple little bits in there, you know, fixed that edge that I'd sort of was a bit light down around that inner guard. Yeah, just puffed in a little bit there, so it was just looked a bit wonky. It was just the colour was a wee bit uneven through there, so I just flicked a bit through there a couple of times just to help blend that in, just that a little nicer. So yeah, to be honest, like that colour is a pretty good match for, you know, I don't know when. I think this has been resprayed, or it's been had a fairly major touch up at some stage, but the paint matches pretty well, all things considered. So I think when we give her a final clean down and we finished buffing all the rest of these pieces, since I frigged that up, and I thought, well, I've got to fix that, and I knew there was a little bit of paint that I'd missed in there and a little bit down there, and I was like, that back corner doesn't look terribly good, and I thought, oh, we'll catch those other couple little bits. So just a quick little clean up, blend up, and we should be good, you know, as long as I don't buff too hard and around there. May even just do it by hand when we're getting close to being finished, you know. We'd probably just give this a very mild wet sand, just get a little bit of the shit out of it. It was pretty rough, but it'll clean up for all it is. And then just I thought, oh, I'll just blow those bolts because they looked a bit scabby in there. Just flicked a little bit of paint on them just so they were yellowed up a bit better, since half the paint was all falling off them. So yeah, I think that'll do. So we'll just carry on. Yeah, I need to frickin' remember that upholstery. I'll do that now. Now that I'm thinking about it, I need to ring them guys just to see where they are at with the owner. I haven't heard from either one, so I'll just touch base with that, just see where that's heading, so I can work out what I'm going to do with this for the next few days if I get this other So we get this other 65 Impala in here. I kind of want that out of the road in the meantime. Like, it's only a small job, a few little jobs to do. So if I can get the glass back in it and get it out of the road for a few days, and then when the carpet turns up, I can throw that in it. When who knows when the seats are going to get done. So it could be a month or so yet before this is ready to complete to give back to the customer. So if it's out of my here, it doesn't matter. Whether I stick it at home in the shed or even pop it around at mum and dad's, just out of the road in the meantime. It's not going to hurt anything. So we'll carry on. Also, before I bugger off for the day, I fucking forgot I got these lights in. So these are the ones I ordered off Amazon when I ordered the sockets. They obviously came from a different place. So yeah, I've been fucking wanting something like this. These will be a trial to see what these lights are. They're magnetic. How well do they stick to a car? Oh yeah, they're pretty good. So they'd be freaking handy for when I'm welding, joints, panels together and stuff like that. So now I can freaking, I've got two of them. So I can sit them there like that, whatever, on the corner of the panel, wherever, and I can freaking get some decent light in there. So I don't know how charged up they are, but I've got a couple of cords. I just bought one to work and I'll keep one at home in the meantime. But yeah, I'll just charge them up and freaking be so freaking handy for doing the stuff. So yeah, there's some better looking ones, but I don't know, it's just a matter of seeing what they like. But fuck, they've got to be better than nothing. Been hanging out for something like this for ages. So yeah, I'll plug one in tonight and flick the other one on tomorrow. So at least I'm doing some welding on stuff, if it's a bit hard to see, I've got them. Swap that cord over. I actually thought they were USB-C, but that micro USB freaking cord, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it said they're USB-C. Well, they have to double check that. I thought that's what they were. But yeah, so I better plug them in and give them a decent charge up. And yeah, we will be able to use them now. So this is something I've been wanting for a while, but it's not freaking very easy to, well, it probably are easy to get here, but it's just when you're wandering around town looking at tool places and stuff like that, they just didn't have them without them being stupid fucking money. That's the biggest problem. I don't mind paying for stuff, but geez, I'm not paying freaking 70 or 80 bucks a freaking rechargeable bloody light for whatever, if you know what I mean, when you can buy two for, I think it was about 30 bucks or 40 bucks on top of the sockets. I think it was $205 or whatever it was it cost for those sockets and these. So the sockets were 153 and this was 153? Yeah, 153 and these it was 205. So it was 50 something bucks for the two, so about 25 bucks each delivered. So yeah, freak, it's better than 70 something bucks each for something similar that I could find, if I could find them without having to just put, I could find things like this, but they all had bloody, you had to put 3 or 4 freaking AA batteries in them or AAA batteries in them. I didn't want that. I don't want to be putting bloody batteries in the bastards all the time, I thought, well shit, it'd be way better off with, rechargeable. At least, if I get freaking a couple of years out of it and it dies, well, you go buy another one. But at least you haven't spent $500 on fucking batteries. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. And then I freaking got a pile. Mrs. When she was in town, doing a couple of little messages for me. Got me a pile of these as well, so better freaking tear all the rest of these panels back. I think I got one good one here. That's why I got her to get me some more new ones. So we'll have a bit of an excursion in here, probably tomorrow, something like that. Set up the other panel stands and we'll just start tearing some paint off some panels, guards and doors and whatever, and then I can finish doing body work on them while I'm still waiting on the car to come back. Anyway, we'll catch you later on. Right. So welcome back to NZ Hombre-Customs. So I am screwing around with this screen rubber. So this is the back one. So because this is just a big long length, unfortunately, I'm just going around and taping this on so I can work out the correct length, and then I'll leave it on there for a couple of days until I get the true length and glue it together. So yeah, I'm just doing this. It is the correct, fortunately it's the correct profile, I guess you'd call it. It's just a pain in the ass to have to glue it together, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? Can't do much about it. If that's what you can get, that's what you can get at. It would have been nice to have a proper moulded screen, but rubber, but hey, worst comes to worst, you know. That's what you gotta do. Just trying to get this sorted. We put that bit of paint around the body yesterday, so it's part of the reason why I don't want to put the glass in yet, because I just want to let that cure up for a couple of days or a week, and then we can, I can get all the rubbers ready over the next couple of days. I'm just doing this, and then I'll probably hook into the body panels and the little Morris. And we'll give them a tank and a shake round. Just want to get this glass done. So it's got the rubber on it and sitting there sort of kind of ready to go. And then, in a couple of days time we'll glue it. We'll make sure it's not too long, and we'll glue it together. We'll just cut this a wee bit long for start off, it won't matter. And we'll just fine tune it from here. This is the same rubber front and back. So I'll just let it sit right this for a while. I'll just take this on, I'll leave it long, and then over the next, probably in a couple of days, I might get the missus to come around and give me a hand. We'll just see if we can just sneak it on a little bit tighter, and then we'll glue it so it's snug. We can end up short, we might be short in the back, another 3/8 of an inch, 10 mil sort of type thing, and it still sits on there nice and tight. And as long as we we'll give it a wee scuff up and get some super glue on there, is what I've been told to use. So, and we'll go from there. So I'll sit this one. I'll put that. So I'll just leave it here. I'll grab the other one, and then we'll set the other one here, and I'll take that one away. So yeah, I'll give this a clean up and give it a good wipe down so the tape will stick, and yeah, we'll put it on. Right, so fortunately I got a bit left over because we're going to have to sort the corners of the front screen out. Like the back one's actually quite good, it actually lays quite good around the corners because they're not terribly tight. I think these aren't going to be much of an issue at all. Like by the time it's in around the body and then you put the filler panel on it, I think it's going to be quite good. I don't know if I can show this side or not, because it probably doesn't poke over far enough. No, not really. But you've seen it when I was sitting down there before. And this front screen is going to be a bitch. Like you can't have it frickin' sitting there like that. That's garbage. So I've got that bit. So what I might do is pull it back off to about here and cut a couple of sections and have a wee play and sort of mark the corner and work out what I need to do. If I have to glue it in the corner, at a point, you know, and cut it back into here and get rid of some of this inner to get it to sit flat both sides of wall, because that's fucking garbage. Like, why they never made a moulded front one, I do not know. Like the back one you would get away with. So I think I'll just cut, I don't know, say that much or off. What am I going to do with this? You know, if I happen to have I don't know, maybe a small porthole. Yeah, you know, that would be all it was good for at the moment. So I might cut a couple of short strips. And we'll whip this off here for start off anyway. I'll put an extra bit of tape on it, just let that hang. And we'll work out what we're going to do to get this to sit flat by cutting, you know, maybe a V in it or something like that. Probably even the backside's going to have to do the same. Maybe when that's actually in the body, it might sit better, but like, I don't think I'm going to have to cut the outside of it. I don't think that's going to be the issue, it's the inside. And if we have to glue it in the corners and cut a wee V out of it to get it to sit better, that's what I'll have to do, I guess. But I'll work it out with a couple of short bits, even if I have to have 2 or 3 goes at it to work it out. And then I can use that as a guide. Like, I won't glue it together, but if I can get it to sit there and tape there and sit nice, at least I can have that as a pattern, so when I can mark these at some point, trim them, and then when we glue it all together and get it to the right length, again, I've left, you know, plenty there to play with. And when we go to glue it all together, we can make it sit flat. Right, I'm just trying to work this freaking corner stuff out, just to see what I need to do to make it sit nice. Up here, you see there? No, you can't see there. So up here, try and get it, find this better. I'm probably gonna have to cut this at the corner too. Well, I will have to, because it's tighter than the one down here. So what I've done so far, so I've got that bit of the lock strip in there. Just I cut that because I'm not sure how much I've got. But pull this out. So at the moment I've got this cut like that, which I kind of don't want to have to do, but I might have to, you know what I mean? Just to get it to fit in around here, and I'm probably going to have to cut it more, so just to get everything to sit into place nicely. And I'll have to get a cleaner, better cut too, otherwise it's going to look like shit. I'm just playing. I've got a bit extra left over there on the car still. What I might do is take this over to the car and set it at the bottom corner, tape it in there, and just see how that's actually going to fit into the body. We'll just have to work out how to cut this, because I don't want to cut right out to here, but I don't mind cutting this inside edge, especially if it's pushed together and it's sort of hidden. I may have to make maybe a couple of small cuts in it, or a couple of just thin slices so it'll wrap around the corner and then glue it back together again. I don't know, I'm just going to try and figure this out so I can get it looking alright in the corners. The back one's I don't think is going to be an issue, because it's got more, like, it's very round, it's more open and round in the corners. Point up here. Yeah, so it's more open. It's not so tight. This is tighter, but it's not that bad. I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be the front screen, because it comes to more of a point. Like, it comes to quite a hard corner, and that's very sharp compared with like the top one here is freaking like, you know, it would be more around here, if you know what I mean. It's more that sort of shape. It doesn't come into this hard point. So, but that's where a glass fits in there. So it's to get this to sit nice, but to look decent, and the glass is in there, and all that sort of shit, if you know what I mean. So that there is going to sit up there like that. Just trying to see whether I can get it to sit there to look okay, and whether it's going to look frickin' weird, or what I've got to do to get this to So it's not all freaking bunched up in the corners. So you need to cut more out of here to get that to kind of sit nice. I wonder if I can get a bit of timber. I've got a bit of board that maybe I can cut to that, just to that shape, and maybe cut the other shape in like just a small section to punch up into the corner at the same thickness as the glass, just to give me a better idea of how that's going to sit. Right, hopefully you can see me there. So yeah, maybe this here might just do for, it's probably a bit thick, but it might just give me an idea what that's going to look like. I can just get a rough idea of the shape of this corner. It's probably a little thick, but it'll do, if you know what I mean. Just to give me an idea of how this is going to sit within this corner. Might see if I can find something better. Righty, so I've cut this. I've just sort of been playing around with this a little bit. I don't want to be fucking playing with it too much longer, otherwise I'm just wasting time, if you know what I mean. But that still fits like garbage. Like, it could be, like this is, you know, only sort of just a bit of wood, just pushing into that corner to see what it looks like. And I sanded this join. Maybe I could cut it back here a bit further so it fits into there a bit better, but it's only going to push back so far. But I'm not very happy with that. You know, maybe like with playing with it and whatever, it'll settle down, but I don't know. Freak, like, you know, how can you make something look decent like that with frickin' straight rubber? God, I wish I'd frickin' never bought it. Well, it's fine for the back because it's just going to fit okay. Like, it goes around the corners on that screen all right. Bugger off like. But yeah, just, and it's probably not going to be quite so bad at the bottom, but if I don't cut it and join it in these corners at least, without the join down there, it's going to be all bunched up like this. It's going to look freaking absolute garbage. Like, I don't know, what do you do? I don't know, what do you do? Yeah, I'm going to go home and do some research and see if I can get a fucking moulded windscreen from somewhere. I just don't know if I'm going to get this to look any fucking good without cutting it to fucking pieces. To even get it to sit nicely in the corners, like that's a lot to cut out of it, and then to try to get to glue together successfully and nicely and have a decent seal and not sit weird, just even in the top corners, let alone the bottom corners as well. Like, I don't think this back one's going to be any issue at all. It's got enough flex, if you know what I mean, like there's enough curl on it that this is garbage. I'm going to go see if I can find something from the UK. Fuck it, you know, if it costs me, I don't know. If it costs a fucking $300 or $400 fucking dollars, fucking whatever it is, to get it here, it is. And I'll just see if these bastards will take. I'll just wrap it up and send the excess back. There's enough there for a windscreen or whatever, or I might better use it. I might even better use it in the back of that little Morris or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. I might better use it somewhere on something, if you know what I mean. But it fits like shit in the back of that, so, or in the front of this. I can't put up with that, if you know what I mean. It just fits like shit. And yeah, to get it to try, I'll tape it in this corner or whatever. But hold on, throw in the tripod for a minute. So like, it will work, but it's just, you know, it's not fucking ideal. You know what I mean? And to get it perfect, or to get it really nice in the corners, it's just not going to be easy. To make it look right. That doesn't look that bad, but it's to get a nice join and then to get it to sit flat and not tear apart. And I think once you had it in there, it would probably be alright, but it's to get it to work. You know, it really needs to be cut right out here. So that's not fighting it. I think you'd have to cut it right out and then try and V-butt it. I was trying not to do that. I don't know. I just don't know if it's worth fighting with, if you know what I mean. If you can get a really nice one that's half decent, you know, and you don't have to fucking fight with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is, if you know what I mean. Yeah, who knows? Alrighty, morning, welcome back again. So, the windscreen rubber issue. I'm just not happy with it. So, on Friday when I went home, before we went to the beach racing, I'm not sure if I'm going to put that footage up or not. I need to have a decent look through it. The distance wasn't really great. Like I wouldn't say I was a long way back, but we set up on the sand dunes and tried to video it so I was a bit higher up so you get a bit better view. But it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I might make a bit of a short video, maybe 10 minutes long or type sort of thing. We'll see. I tried to video a bit of it, and then we sort of they ended up being delayed because of other stuff getting set up. So we arrived there when we were meant to sort of turn up, but it ended up being delayed by a while. So by the time it sort of got halfway through the racing, we were sort of like, shit, it's getting pretty late. Well, it wasn't that late, but you know what I mean. It was like, wasn't expecting to be here this long. Because it ended up being delayed, so we buggered off. Part way through it, we didn't get to watch all the racing, if you know what I mean. It
We'll be doing the updates. You've got a live reminder. You can follow it on the palm of your hands with the...
just like, kind of been here too long. Well, not that it had been there too long, but you know what I mean. It was getting later at night. It was starting to really cool off, and there was quite a breeze coming in off the sea. So it was getting colder and colder. So yeah, even though it's like summertime, the weather hasn't been that good lately. We haven't had the real good hot temperatures like we have had up until, I don't know, about a week or so ago. So yeah, it just wasn't that pleasant, if you know what I mean. Like I had like track pants on, I think I had a singlet t-shirt, and then I'd put a hoodie over top, and I actually took my cap off and put a beanie on. Because I took a beanie with me, I thought just in case, I might just take that just in case it starts blowing and you want a bit of frickin' something over your ears, just say, you're not getting that wind blowing past your ears all the time, get cold. So yeah, it was getting a bit like that. And I was like, Mr. said, do you want to get going? And I was like, yeah, it's not really that, it's not that cold, but it's not that pleasant either, if you know what I mean. And the racing was okay, but it was just, I don't know, the couple of times I'd been there before, there'd been a lot more people in the class. It seemed to have thinned out from early years, but it's been a long time since I've actually been able to go and watch the beach racing, because it just depends on the tide and the time of day. Like sometimes it was early in the morning they would have the beach racing, because it just depended on the tides and what days they were going to have it and all that sort of stuff. So some years you just couldn't go because you're busy working. But yeah, it happened to be Friday night this time, so it was meant to start about 5 or 5:30 or something like that. Was the time we were meant to be there, and they're going to have some planes fly over, which they did. It was a one of those aerobatic squadrons, and then they were going to hook into the beach racing, but they were meant to have had the practices earlier, a wee bit earlier. They meant to have been doing the practices a wee bit earlier. But yeah, then I'm not exactly sure what had happened, but yeah, they got delayed because of some stupid criminal acts in the area, and there must have been a lot of police around, and they couldn't get stuff in there, and all sorts of, somebody had burnt out a car somewhere, and there was just big drama fucking out there somewhere, so people couldn't get shit set up, and they couldn't get in there, couldn't get the racers in there to do some practice. I think they were going to start the practicing about the time that the planes and shit were going through, and it just got all fucking muddled up. So they're probably a good hour delayed. So yeah, it became, by the time it was like sort of, it was like 7 or 8 o'clock by the time we buggered off, and it was like, yeah, like it was still like a 50 lap race. It was I think it was a mile. Yeah, I think the track was a mile up and down the beach. So yeah, it was like a 50 lap race, 50 mile race. So it was like, shit, it's going to take. And it was about a minute. So like that fucking race is at least an hour long, and we haven't even got close to that yet. So it's like, I don't know. Do we hang around or we not? Because we probably would have been there till, I don't know, probably 10 o'clock or 9:30. So it's like, well, it's going to be freaking pretty cold by then. But anyway, so we would buck it off. But anyway, so the windscreen rubber, to get past that, I ordered one from the UK. I found it was, what do they call themselves? Kent Trimming. I'll put a link up in the thing where I got it from. Obviously, it'll depend on what it looks like when it gets here. So I'm hoping that'll be here in the next few days, maybe before the end of the week. We'll just see. So probably what I'll end up doing with this rubber, I might see if it'll work for the back screen for the Mori, because I don't have anything to fit that, but I will probably have to get a bit more insert. But we'll see if it'll work for that. Maybe it's that little round screen that might work for. Like it might roll around these a bit easier. I did have a Danny mate in the UK. He messaged me and suggested get it in a bucket of hot water, like the piece where you want to bend it, and you can sort of mould it a little bit, but I just don't think it's going to mould around those corners very easy, even if it was in hot water. I'd have to boil the water here somewhere, get a big pot or something like that and boil some water on like a little camp stove and mould it. So that might work for this, because these are nowhere near as sharp as anything that are on them. So it'll probably wrap around this fine if it suits that, and then we can just get some of that, a bit more of that chrome stripping to put in there. So that'll work perfect for that, if that's what it's meant to be, if you know what I mean. So we'll save that. I did think about sending it back, but we might just save it and try and use it for this. Now, if it's got one rejoin down here at the bottom, it's not going to matter a shit. If you get a nice joint, it's not going to be obvious, if you know what I mean. It's not something you're going to be staring at. You're going to be looking at the bodywork and what's the shit first. Like, I'm not too worried about one joint, but I don't want to be hacking the corners up and what's the bullshit trying to make it fit. So we'll see how that goes to the back window. I don't know if the chrome's here for that, or the filler strips here for that back window. I have to have a look. I can't remember. I remember I pulled the strips out of the front, but I can't remember in amongst that stuff when I was pulling bits and pieces out whether those other back ones are there. They may be there. I just can't remember if it was those ones that I remember, or if it was there was another set there, if you know what I mean. So we won't worry about the glass in the meantime, so I might move that out of the road and we'll get tearing into some panels. I did think about carrying on for that, but I really want to get some paint stripped off some of these other doors and get them stripped out for the little Mori, so we can get some work done on that, because I'm expecting a phone call, any time in the next day or so to go pick the body back up again. Righty. Oh wow. And you wonder what's underneath, eh? So this whole bottom's got to come off. The whole bottom section is, so we have to cut around here. So we'll probably just, we'll have to work that out. It's pretty rotten up here too. Up here, so we'll probably cut across here, and we'll go around this. And again, I might just clean this up a little bit more and just cut across here. So we'll probably replace the bottom, I don't know, 3 inches of this, I guess. And it sort of, the whole lip folds around there, and I think it just spot rails around the edge. So I think we'll just get the grinder out. We'll cut around this, because I don't want to move that, or because, you know, if it doesn't end back up in the same place, well, it's going to be an issue. But we can just cut down below it, and you know, cut around it like it's not bad metal out here. But I just want to try and get up above this, so if we have to just, yeah, and down like that, and then back up, and then back across here just to get some clean, we will. I'll just flip it over and we'll have a quick look on the other side. Yeah, because it's just a straight seam. It's just spot welded along the edge. It's not actually folded over. So we'll better get in there and just make sure this is all clean. That structure's clean in there. But yeah, she's a bit nasty across the bottom there. And there's quite a few dings and marks in it. So we'll try and knock the worst thing out, you know, that you can feel anyway. Oh, the good old slip the 2 or 3 pieces of steel underneath the rust hole trick, and then just a few tacks will out, and then just fill it full of body filler. That was the other piece that I just cut off. Oh, down there. Yeah. Crazy shit. That's just still properly. Unfortunately, I did cut through here, but I can fix that. I'm just trying to get that other piece off. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll get that little whip over it with that quickly, the little wire wheel, and then we'll get my little blasting gun, and we'll just get a wee go over, and we'll hit it with some rust converter, and obviously we're going to have to do some repairs here as well. Alright, so we've got that cleaned up and treated, and I'll just run the drill through these holes. I'm probably going to have to pull something off here, cut something off, and have a good look, make sure it's solid. There's a bit down here, rust down here too. You can see it's starting to discolour the steel, so I might have to come down to where's a marker? So I'll have to have a look. I need to cut a decent strip for the back so I can shape that, put a bit of shape in it, a bit of curve. So I don't know, with this one here, it looks pretty solid, but we may as well go around that corner, so whether we cut through here like this or something, cut that corner skin off, and probably do, sorry, I'm talking with my pen in the mouth, so probably do something like that too through here, just to get rid of that hole, and then pick up like this stuff here. I can see it's discolouring, and there might even be a couple bits in here too, by the looks of it. Hard to tell, you know what I mean? But yeah, like ideally a skin would be okay, but I did have a quick look online, just from what just do a rough look. I'll have a look decently when I get home on a computer, because the internet here is slow and I'm trying to upload some shit. So I'll have a quick wee look to see if there is anything available, but it looks like a lot of it was ex-UK, so like there's bound to be something here, but it's just whether I can get hold of it easy enough, and the cost. And I don't think you could get a skin. I think it was the whole thing. You could get, I think you get a repair panel for down here, okay, and then like for this outer skin, and then like the inner piece, like this bottom bit, so you could repair the bottom part of it. But yeah, like whether you could get a whole skin by itself, you get a whole shell. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, we'll just see. You know, it just depends on what the cost's going to be involved, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I think this thing's going to get kind of pricey. This rebuilding this car, it's going to be a wee bit more than what I freaking thought. You know, we're already a few grand in, so you know, just with time and whatever, and getting it stripped down, like there's going to be a few dollars in getting it blasted, you know, and then we'll go through and repair all the rest of the stuff. So yeah, anyway, we'll carry on. We'll go have some lunch. I'll do a bit of digging, but we'll probably come back and make these pieces depending on what the costs are. I might do a couple of phone calls just to see if there's anything in the country, but yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look like, well, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll give you an update later on. Alrighty, hey, if you want to see a really cool video, I've seen ads of them quite a bit, you know, just in recent times, and it's one of those laser freaking machines that cleans like rust off and all that sort of shit. Brent from Halfass Kustoms just got one. I think he's had it a wee while, but like a couple of weeks to the type thing. But he just released a video using it for, I think it's about 45 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever it is, video, just him playing with it, getting it out of the box and whatever. What a game changer that would be. It's not a cheap machine. He got, I think it was the 1500 watt one, so it will actually do that laser welding and laser cutting as well. So yeah, but he was just going over panels with paint on them, and like any scruffy steel, say like if you had like a whole heap of like suspension parts or whatever, or if you open up a panel like I've done in here, like the best thing is, he said, like sure you can sandblast stuff, things, and it would probably be quicker, but I can do it in my workshop and don't have any, basically, you know, it's no worse than, you know, the bit of mess that I've got here on the floor. And I did do a little bit of sandblasting with just a little handheld one, just to try and clean the thick stuff off, but you could just go, you know, for, you know, I don't know, whatever it takes, a couple of minutes to do that, I guess. But yeah, like it just comes back to clean bare steel. It's like, wow. Like he did it in some door jams on that truck he's working on and stuff like that. It's just really cool machine. So if you've got a few dollars and you want something like that, I think for doing this sort of work, it would be hugely beneficial, because it would just, now if you want to try to clean up door jams and stuff like that, you know, in a car, and you're, you know, it's the worst fucking thing in the world to try and clean up in a door jam. If you don't want to sandblast it or whatever, but you can just go around with this laser and just fucking just burn the shit off. Like he said, he had it on 500 watts and was pulling a lot of shit off, but he said it was getting quite hot. But I think in and around door jams or in bits like this where you had to cut a section of a panel off and you still got all the old bracing in there, and you want to clean that up nice and clean, far easier and far less mess than trying to get in there with a wee blasting gun or trying to get in there with a wire brush or anything like that. Just so much more, I think, efficient for cleaning. Yeah, and then you know, give it a bit of a, I don't know, whatever, give it a wipe down and scuff down and a bit of a clean up. Probably flick some fucking rust protection in there and start waiting on your new shit on, and it would be nice and perfectly clean again, like back to raw steel basically. It's like, what a freaking head scratcher that is. It's like, it wasn't cheap, but you know, if you had a big shop and you were doing that sort of shit, like one of those machines, for somebody that was doing just rust repair stuff, like on old stuff, it would be a fucking game changer. It really would. You know, just cleaning out parts, it would be no worse than using a blasting cabinet, if you know what I mean. But for cleaning out like parts and brackets and whatever, you know, there's obviously lots of different ways you can do it, but freaking hugely beneficial. Say you get a bit of steel that's a bit scabby that you want to cut up and use for something, and it's clean. Yeah, I hope it might be quite that quick, but freaking hell of a game changer. Anyway, I need to go cut a couple of hunks of steel off one of the sheets over there, so I can make up a panel for here, and I've also got a few holes in here we're going to fix. There's a few holes in here we're going to fix, and we'll go from there.